What a trip. A few days back, we got to understand that a young man who is serving in Abia State as a member of an Artisanal Youth Service Corps decided to empower more than 150 people. And this number included widows, youths, and street children, all in Abia State. For 5 whole days, he held a free program at Umuahia North Local Government Area Headquarters. What was he doing? He was equipping them with lucrative skills such as craft making, video editing, digital marketing, all in a bid to change their narrative. For Francis Owums, this was just the beginning of a story of a young man who destiny has called to make a change in the life of others. Good afternoon, Francis.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Francis. It's my pleasure seeing your face for the very first time.
Well, the pleasure is all mine.
So it's great knowing you. Now, Francis, one of the biggest things that came out of this story was the fact that widows, street children were big winners. How did it all start?
Can you come again, sir?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I said, how did it all start? Because widows and street children became the biggest winners.
Okay, so I just want to confirm that my audio is loud and clear, and my video is also good.
Yes, so I needed to know from you
Okay.
how you got people who were forgotten, such as widows and street children, to become big winners after just 5 days of training.
Okay, so I can't say this without starting from the history. So sometime in November last year, I obeyed the clarion call to serve. I was posted. I was posted to Abia State. I camped in Abia State, and I am currently serving there. After my camp, the whole December thing, sometime in January, I remember going to Umuahia North, that's Umuahia, the state capital where I was posted to, and I've realized I saw a very, very will I say heartbreaking sight. I noticed that there were a lot of out of school children. In fact, the moment my vehicle stopped in their park, you see a lot of young people, children who I know should be in school, hawking on the streets. Most of the menial jobs you see, from the people that are hawking to the POS to in fact, random jobs, you see very young children, and that caught my attention. I did some further findings, and I realized that these children are out of school children who, because of poverty rates, couldn't do something for themselves. And it was not as if they had a particular business. Today, somebody is on the streets washing cars. The next day, they are selling gala. The next day, so it was just anything to survive. I'd moved with, what I call it, I was moved in my heart, and I said, no, I have to do something about this in my own little way. And so initially, the initiative was for street children, but I equally started noticing a lot of women, young women, also on the streets. I realized that there were a lot of young widows in the town. So that was when I told myself I have to do something about this. And then from 7 months ago, I started working my way, trying to create this project. I'm a very firm believer in the saying, don't teach me how to fish. Don't give me fish, rather teach me how to fish. So I said, okay, let me come up with a skill acquisition training program that equally still ends. Not only will I give you skills that you can use, you can select skills from multiple lucrative skills that we're training in. And then at the end of your 5 days of learning these skills, we're able to carefully select skills that we know can be trained in 5 days, and if packaged well, is a lucrative skill that is something that is legitimate and will not cause nuisance or menace to the society. So that was what led to all of these things, and that was how all of these things actually started. And then, by the special grace of God, by the 7th of September, that was on Saturday, we were able to complete this project and empower people financially. At the end of the project, we also gave money, 100,000 naira, to widows, children, and the street children and youths as startup capital to help them build businesses using the skills that they just learned.
You may not understand the impact what you have done, but imagine a street child who has not got any hope of what the next day will be, and all of a sudden he got the opportunity not only to be trained, but to be showed that he is a human being and he has limited potential and opportunities. And it didn't stop there. You also gave him 100,000 as a startup. You basically turned his life around. So for us at Signature TV, our question is, what is it that drives you to make change happen as quickly as you've done?
Well, I would say, first of all, thank you for that. I want to actually attribute it to upbringing. I can't go far without saying that. I come from a place where, by the special grace of God, I had a proper upbringing. So I have, from childbirth, had the perception that we are the change bearers that we need. I'm the type of person that if something happens to me, if I found in a situation where something goes wrong, I blame myself first. I find a way to ask myself, what could I have done better? I believe if every Nigerian can be accountable of doing something better in every little way that you can, this country will become the country of our dreams. So with that conviction, everywhere I find myself, I ask myself, what can I do to add my own quota? It's not every time, when people are a lot fixed on what can the government do for me, what can this happen, I am of the opinion of what can I do to make something better? What can I do to make the next person's life better? If everybody is doing something to make the next person's life better, eventually all our lives are going to be better. I strongly believe that in Nigeria, our biggest resource is not mineral resources, it's not natural resources, it is human resources. And I am a very huge lover of human resources. Hence, my various degrees and personal, I have diploma certificates of study in human resource management and the rest of them. So I'm just very big on human resource development, human capital development, skill acquisition. I, for one, primarily, I am a website developer. I learned skills in school as a 100-level student. And these are the skills that have enabled me to take care of myself, to be self-employed, to not be a nuisance to the community. I can beat my chest and say that I am making legitimate money for myself as a website developer. Amidst other skills, I have clientele both within and outside the country. I am a testimony to the fact that skill sets, human development can change someone's life for the better, even in a terrible economy like that of our country currently. So from what I have received, I want to give. That's my driving force. I want to see change happen one action at a time. I want to be a carrier of change in my own little way.
Marvelous. Now, one thing that is very important and people need to look out for, especially given the role you've played in the lives of 150 participants, especially those that have been given a startup, is how do you monitor them so that they don't make bad business decisions so they can flourish and begin to mentor others? Is there any process in place that they would easily follow and follow through?
Okay, so to answer your question, I would largely talk about the project. Now, I said 7 months ago, I had the idea in mind to do this, and initially the plan was to train 90 people, 30 widows, 30 street children, and 30 youth. As time grew, and at the end of the program, we're going to empower 3 people: one widow, one street child, and one youth, with 100,000 naira business grants each. But as we started the campaigning of this project, and let me point it out here, as a core member, I am not permitted to use my own personal resources to carry out any project in terms of finances. However, in the light of this, I now had to go and look out for sponsors. So as much as I'm not permitted to use financial resources, which I have limited, I have mental resources. I have the capacity of talking to people. I have the privilege of having contacts. I have the privilege of being educated. So I was able to raise up people, or convince people to help support this project. From my PPA, where I'm currently serving, Campus Innovation Hub, which is a digital skills and vocational training center, to a charity foundation I built a website for some time in 2020, Jesus the Tree of Life Charity Foundation, to various other individuals who sponsored. And I must say this, we had not even 1 naira coming from any political quarter. No, not 1 naira of money used to organize this came from any political place. It was all private individuals who wanted to see places grow. Now, all of these things, throughout the process of coming up with this project, questions like what you just asked, continuity, came in place. I hit the streets of Umuahia. We went to the rural communities, deep into the villages, because I was very much hell-bent on getting people that needed it the most. That is why we did not want to have any political affiliation, so that the whole process would be transparent and 100% unbiased. And then when we hit the streets, I found out that a lot of people were begging, literally. Like, instead of giving one person 100,000 naira, why don't we break this 100,000 naira down and give it to 10 people, at least 10,000 naira each? Make person see something chop. That was the statement. I understood that this was coming from a point of genuine lack. But as an educated person, given the privilege to understand my left from my right and go to school, I'm a graduate of information management technology from the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. I understand that people begging for 10,000 naira are begging for this because of hunger. But what I want to achieve is not to feed people, but to give people a way to feed themselves. And I saw 10,000 naira will not set up any business. So instead of splitting that money, I said, instead of putting the money, I'm going to work my ass out to ensure that I increase the number of people that get that 100,000 naira. So as of the grand finale of that program, I was able to raise 1 million naira. From the initial 300,000 naira to be shared to 3 people, I was able to raise 1 million naira to be shared to 10 people at 100,000 naira each. And we're able to, from 90 people that was the initial plan, we're able to train 150 people, 50 widows, 50 street children, and 50 youth. Now, we did not just end there. While I had achieved this financially, I thought about continuity, which is why I involved the likes of my PPA, Campus Innovation Hub, which I know this is their work. Building human resource development, this is their work. Human capital development, this is what they do, they train people. I also brought in a charity foundation, Jesus the Tree of Life Charity Foundation, which they are also focused on helping the vulnerable. And they have programs that can continue whatever we have started. I did not just end here. I went further. Upon approval by the state coordinator, I must say this, that I'm an NYSC core member serving in Umuahia, Abia State. And as such, I cannot do anything without the approval and support of the NYSC management. The state coordinator, Barrister Mrs. Gladys Adama, who is the state coordinator of NYSC Abia State, was extremely helpful, supportive throughout this program. So even the NYSC, that is a scheme, that is a national scheme, they are very much involved in this, and they also do aid continuity. I also did not end there. I went further to reach out to government agencies within the state. I met with the multiple occasions. I and my team of organizers, because I didn't do this alone. Yes, it came from me. Yes, I started the whole movement, but I was able to recruit my fellow corps members who formed my organizing team and volunteers who were out there. We stormed various government offices. We visited the Ministry for Youth Affairs. We visited the Ministry for Women Affairs. We visited the Office of the Governor. And I must say that the Abia State government, they welcomed us with open arms and allowed us to do what we wanted to do. At the grand finale, we had the Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs there. We were able to pull her to come for it, to witness these things. She was there live in the person of Dr. Mrs. Morin. She was there. The Commissioner for Youth Affairs at the state was also there to witness it. The governor sent his representative, his special assistant on youth affairs, to also witness what we have done at the end of the event. The reason I did this was not to seek any financial support from the government whatsoever, but it was strictly to ensure that these people that we've been able to train and develop, by the grace of God, I will be passing out in October. So I may not be there to see them through. But I was able to put in government, individual, and non-governmental organizations to come together to ensure that these people, after we've trained and empowered them, we are handing them over to the necessary bodies to ensure that there is continuity. So yes, we did all of this. The NYC is involved. The NYC Abia State is involved in continuity. The state government is involved in continuity. The private individuals who have my sponsor, my chief sponsor, Campus Innovation Hub, who does this, they are involved. And the NGO who sponsors, Jesus the Tree of Life Foundation, they are involved in this. So I know we did not lose track of the thought of continuity. And this is everything we put in place to ensure that we not only train, we trained and empowered using our own personal resources, but for continuity, we reached out to stakeholders who came, witnessed, and saw these people, were able to transform vulnerable people, package them to people that are marketable, and brought opportunities to them. Lastly, throughout the course of this training, every single day, we brought business experts to train these people on various business things, such as financial management, time management, resource management, marketing, packaging, so that they're not just giving skills and money, they are giving the business know-how to manage these things. Because it is one thing to know a skill, it's another thing to know the business of that skill. So this was the whole package to ensure that everybody that comes out from the 5-day skill acquisition, training, and empowerment program organized by myself, Francis Owum, comes out with enough opportunities to not only hit for the sky, but for the sky to be his or her starting point. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Francis Owum. But before I let you go, you did a job that many people would have thought was impossible. That's why they gave you the advice of reducing the amount you wanted to give so that it could get to so many more. But at the end of the day, you showed that you had a good heart. Now, you are no longer just Francis Owum, but you are a chieftaincy title holder of Oluakachukwu I of Umuahia Locha, meaning the handwork of God. And that title was given to you by Is It God's Will Asamoah. What do you think you can bring to that community that is giving you this honor?
Well, first of all, I must say that the honor of the chieftaincy title came as a shock to me. Never in my wildest dreams of even the next 10 years did I imagine I was going to be a chief. My father, Chief Sir Ignatius Owums, is a chief, so I've always looked up to him. And then on Friday night, being the eve of the grand finale, I received a call from the council of the chieftaincy, director of chieftaincy matters in Umuahia, telling me that the kings have heard of the notable work I'm doing for their people, and that it has spread to the communities, and they want to see me and honor me with the chieftaincy title. It came as a shocker to me. I wasn't prepared for anything. The only thing I had on me was my NYC uniform as a corps member that I am. But by the next morning, I went to the Palace of the King to honor the invitation. My parents, who have been very supportive so far, Sir and Lady Owums, came all the way to Umuahia. My father had to bring his regalia for me to show you that it was not planned, it was impromptu. And on getting there, I was honored with that chieftaincy title. as the Oracle Chukwu one of Umuahia Alocha Ancient Kingdom, which is a very big community in Umuahia. I don't take this title for granted. I may not know the first thing about being a chief. I may not know the traditional rights involved in being a red cap chief, but I know what made me worthy of that title. And what made me worthy of that title was selfless service to humanity. So I may not know what is demanded of me, but I know what got me there. So what I said and what I am assuring that community that deemed it fit to honor me, to see me, to recognize me. Because in this country currently, it is hard for a lot of people are going unrecognized. So I don't take this recognition for granted. Yes, I stepped into Umuahia as just NYSC core member Francis Owuns Chimobim, but currently I'm living as Chief Francis Owuns Chimobim. And what I will do is to ensure that if training 150 people and empowering with 1 million made me a chief, I will honor that chieftaincy title by doing more and more and more. My biggest competition is my yesterday. So my goal is to do better than I did yesterday. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You came for a simple assignment to serve the nation for 1 year. But at the end of the day, you have changed the narrative for over 150 people. We just say thank you, and thank you again for ensuring that people can understand that even in the midst of challenges and difficulties, those who will shine brighter than the stars would always do so. Thank you, Chief Francis Owuns. There's something I need to ask before I say bye-bye. And that is simply this. When you got to the camp, the first time you went to the NYSC camp, and what your life has turned out to be now, did you ever imagine that?
Well, not at all. Now, the irony there is I have been running from camp. I've been running from service. Currently there's this trend. People are saying, NYSC has scam. So I bought into that initially. It was just because it was a compulsory thing. That was why. I will not lie. Going to camp, there are people that go to camp and they are so excited. It's their dream. They want to serve. That wasn't it for me. I just did it because it was necessary. It was compulsory rather. But on getting to camp, meeting the wonderful NYSC management of Abia State, involving in activities in camp, understanding what the NYSC is, understanding the rare privilege. Now, a lot of people look at NYSC as a time to just come and serve country and collect alawi. But it's a time for where you understand the true spirit of patriotism. This, my project, it showed me what patriotism is. I've always been a patriotic Nigerian. I have never for one day believed in Japa. I have never made one question to say, how I go Japa come out this country. I have never done that. I believe that this country can be better, and I believe that I will be part of that change. But over time, I started to have double mind. But this project, coming to serve, seeing people from various places, people from the Hausa tribe, people from the Yoruba tribe, people from various parts of Nigeria, all in one place, getting to live with them, getting to work with them. I made mention that for this project, I was able to recruit volunteers. We had volunteer corps members, where we had Muslims, we had Christians, we had traditionalists. I remember during our volunteer meetings when we pray, I pray I'm a Christian, so I pray the Christian way. We allow our Muslim brothers and sisters pray the Muslim way, and we allow the traditionalists pray their way. And somehow the God that we all serve made it happen. From the facilitators, to the trainers, to the volunteers, if you see the pictures and the videos, you will see a lot of people that were involved. I did not know these people from anywhere. I met them in camp, I met them in Abia State here, and we had people from different batches. I'm in batch 2023, batch C, stream 1. We had volunteers from batch A, 2024. We had volunteers from batch B. We had volunteers from batch C stream 2. So people, both those I met in camp and those I did not meet in camp, but we're all 7, we all came together. The NYC scheme taught me patriotism, taught me communal living, made me understand that Nigeria is a great country. And that's what I want to tell my fellow youth. This country is a great country. I came to serve my country believing in the ideology that NYC is a scam. But I can live telling you that NYC is not a scam. NYC gives you the time, the opportunity to come out from the area that you know to other parts of this country and see the beauty of this country. If we have more youths who believe strongly that this country can be together and are making one step at a time, truly, none of the countries, none of the developed countries that we aim or that we admire will even be half as good as where Nigeria can be. So thank you to the NYC scheme. Thank you to the NYC Abia State. I cannot, my local government inspector, Mrs.
And
Christie.
thank you, Francis Owum. You've changed the narrative for so many people. And from Signature TV and Southeast News, we say, do enjoy your evening. Barrick Mado is my name.